Some business news. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria is urging Nigerians not to panic with the news of increase in the price of petrol. The national president of the association, Mr. Abubakar Shetima, said this in Ibadan during the inauguration of the ultramodern secretariat of the IPMAN Western Zone. According to him, members of the association will continue to serve the masses and sell the products at the lowest rate. He congratulated the zonal chairman, Mr. Dele Tajuddin, and the National Executive Committee of IPMAN Western Zone for being the first to inaugurate such a project throughout the country. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Eno, says Nigeria's auto industry is set for growth and development in 2025. He said the federal government is committed to driving Nigeria's economic growth through industrial development, which he says the auto sector plays a critical role in this drive. The minister disclosed this when I had a chat with him yesterday on our business flagship program, Business Nigeria.
I think that it's going to be a transformative year for industry. I mean, it's going to be a lot of the matters that have to do with Nigeria's industrial competitiveness, Nigeria's ability to compete, in the global industrial space. How much, the ministry and the sector are able to do in terms of driving, the required industrial growth, which the country needs if it ever thinks to develop. I think that these are the key issues, and I think that 2025 is going to be that remarkable year that I expect that we should be able to, the government of, our dear president, in terms of his renewed hope agenda, has industrial transformation as key, and, the ability of the government and of the ministry and of the country to be able to achieve this is going to be measured a lot in terms of what the kind of accomplishments that we're going to make in 2025 will be.
Well, let's take you outside our shores. And global markets greeted Donald Trump's presidency with apprehension in moves that were highly sensitive to headlines over the newly sworn-in president's plan for trade relations and tariffs. Now, U.S. markets were closed for a holiday on Monday, with Trump's return to the White House, which fell during the Asian trade. European futures also pointed to a lower open. U.S. stock futures pared their strong gains from earlier sessions, leaving Nasdaq futures flat and S&P 500 futures 0.1% higher. Japanese Nikkei similarly swung between losses and gains and was last up 0.13%. Now, in China, stocks were volatile as investors struggled to make sense of how Trump's plans for the tariff on the world's second largest economy could shape up. The CSI 300 blue chip index last traded 0.13% higher, while the Shanghai Composite Index is 0.08%. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index fared better, rising 0.79%. That helped lift MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan by 0.34%. Now, President Donald Trump has ordered a 75-day pause on enforcing a law that would eventually ban TikTok in the country, as he floated an idea of partnering with the app's Chinese owner. Now, the new executive order delayed implementation of the Protecting America from Foreign Adversary Controlled Application Act, which took effect January 19th and would prohibit the distribution and updating of TikTok in the United States. President Trump had promised to move fast to save TikTok from the law that was passed overwhelmingly by Congress and signed by President Joe Biden last year.
It's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
President Donald Trump there, while the World Economic Forum opens its annual meeting 2025 in Davos, Switzerland, under the theme Cooperation for the Intelligent Age. The Chief Economist Outlook report released by the annual meeting set the main tone for the occasion. The report shows that the global economy will still face severe challenges in 2025, and international cooperation is indispensable. This year's theme focused on development potential brought by international cooperation and in emerging technology fields such as artificial intelligence.
It's not just AI that we are looking at from the program part here, but the convergence of multiple technologies and the exponential pace at which they're being adopted. We are trying to kind of bring together over the course of the next 4 or 5 days here would be to ensure that we are able to manage the aspects of fragmentation, and we are actually focused a lot on bringing public, private, cross-country collaboration.
We have again the Global Collaboration Village, so the virtual environment where partners can engage with each other. But we also heavily rely actually on, let's say, intelligent technologies for the operations of the annual meeting. For example, we do analyze food waste with artificial intelligence to actually plan better how much we need to produce when it comes to food, but certainly also a very big innovation.
Well, crude oil prices tick lower in Asian trading today as investors took stock of President Donald Trump's plans to apply new tariffs later than expected, while boosting oil and gas production in the United States. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell to sell for $76.98 per barrel, with a downward review of 1.16%. Brent crude futures experienced a downward price margin of 0.32% to sell at $79.89 per barrel. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a decline of 2.84%. And for the OPEC basket, crude dealers offer $83.11 with a decline of 0.05%.